Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of Tony's Makeup Chair. This is gonna be a creepy one, and if you're interested in what I do today, keep watching. So I changed to voiceover as usual, and I take first a white eyeliner pen and just guideline my wounds in white, which is way easier to cover, and I also blocked out Tom's eyebrows with a glue stick. Then I take some liquid latex, which dries clear, and I take a Q-tip as well and go all over the areas I first marked with the white eyeliner and just fill them in to have a first thin layer of latex, a base to work with basically, and as well on the neck and on the cheek. And make sure you wear old clothes when you work with latex, because every drop of latex will ruin your clothes, so make sure you don't wear your most favorite shirt or whatever. So this is tissue, plain tissue, which you can get everywhere, and a spatula, and I've torn the tissue apart and take the thinnest layer of it and just stick it on the areas which I covered with latex first, and the spatula makes it way easier to work, so you don't have to touch the latex every time, and it saves some product as well. So just take a spatula, work with it, and go all over the areas. I did at least 3 or 4 layers of latex and tissue, so make sure you get a kind of a more or less strong base, but don't build up too much, because we're gonna lift that up later and create those wounds with it, and you don't want to have a too thick kind of fake skin. So that's basically what you do. So when you are working with a spatula or a sponge, make sure you keep them wet, because drying latex tends to stick and you don't want to stick on your latex base. So make sure you play the safe game here. And now I take a blow dryer and just go all over the latex to make it dry very fast, because every layer of latex takes around 5 minutes to dry and you don't want to play the waiting game too long. And now I take a pair of tweezers, which is just a random pair from a drugstore, not a special pair, and I go on the latex area and kind of lift it up, make a small cut, and now I just rip that off and create kind of a more 3D effect with the latex, make a sharper, thicker edge on those circles, which you can see now way better. And I also go on with the wound on the forehead. Make sure you work really careful with that, because you are using scissors for that, or I am using scissors for that, and always lift it up and at the same time cut. And as well on the neck, same procedure, really careful working, really patient, and especially the neck is not very much resisting, so please make sure you don't cut any skin. So the next step is very important for working with latex. You have to powder it up very decent. I used a talcum powder from a drugstore, it's the cheaper one, so just play the safe game. So next one is a fun part. I'm gonna take my gelatin base. This is not melt chocolate, it's gelatin mixed with glycerin and water and some makeup foundation, and as well a little bit of blueberry juice to get this kind of brownish tone. And now I take this certain base and go all around Tom's eye and build up kind of a wound, or kind of fleshy looking base. I build up the brow bone a little bit, I make the orbit higher, get more of a 3D effect, also a little bit of a fleshy looking effect with a dabbing motion obviously, and yeah, just apply that randomly all around his eye, The good thing about that is it's not toxic. You can use it on everyone who is also allergic against latex probably, so you can just use it and apply it randomly, but make sure you work fast, because as far as it gets cold, it's very hard to work with, but you can just remelt it and use it again. And now I already take the tissue again, which I rolled up in kind of snaky things and I stuff that into the wound, or just below the latex, and create kind of more depth and just lift that kind of fake skin up a little bit. And I will work on it later with some colors to get more depth. And first of all, I do the paint job now with some Grimace grease paints and some Kryolan grease paints, and start right now. I also take a cheap sponge from a dollar or euro store. You don't have to buy those expensive cosmetic sponges. It's not worth it, so just take those sponges, which are way cheaper. You can get them in 20 piece packs for 1 or 2 euros, which is a great price. And I mixed first the light gray with a little bit of yellow and orange to get kind of a beige or ashy looking gray tone. Then I take my Ben Nye Master Brush wheel and work with all the dark colors at first, and I take also some acrylic brushes for that, and I go all over the points which are already deep set, and to add a little bit of more depth and the illusion of more depth, of course, and a more 3D effect, I go all over those points and areas and mark them dark, and of course blend the colors out. You can always blend them with your fingertip, which is way easier, and always work with creams, because you cannot work with eyeshadows on the latex. It's not possible because it doesn't stick, so always go with creams or at least watercolor makeups. Then I take a black and brown eyeshadow by CookMUA and a fluffy brush and go all over Tom's orbits to get them as deep as I can. And first I work with the brown because it's obviously lighter, and then I go all over it with the black to get the orbits as deep as I can. And next I take 2 different shades of red eye pencils and mark Tom's lower waterline in red, and now I take a brush for that to smooth that out and to not have a harsh line. And the red gets you more of an infected looking eye and has a great effect, so do whatever you like. And I also add a little bit of black Grimace cream to get the darkest black I possibly can, and to add the deepest depth I can, basically. And you can blend those cream makeups very easy with your fingertip, because you have a certain body warmth, and it just makes it easier to melt the color into the skin. So just go on doing it. Alright, I again take the brown, the black, and of course a little bit of the red below the brown. It's a brownish red, and this tiny little brush by Kryolan, and create those veins. You can just create them randomly. I also took a dark blue eyeshadow for it and go all over the face, create those veins wherever you like. It's completely freestyle. You don't have to put on a strict scheme, so whatever you think is right will be right. And as well, blend those veins afterwards with your fingertip, which makes them quite obvious but not too harsh looking. So you just want to have a slight idea of veins at the end. So just go on creating your zombie looking base. There is no strict concept. Zombie is always kind of more or less freestyle. Zombies have particular features like deep orbits, like wounds, of course, high brow bones and stuff like that, but you don't have to stick with that if you don't like it, so do whatever you want. The color of the zombie just depends on the state of his decay, so you can create, like I did, very random and freestyle, and whatever you feel is right is probably right. I would stay a little bit more beige, yellow, gray, ashy looking, and add probably a little bit blue and a little bit of purple and brown. So sometimes when you add too much color, it happens that it looks like a pizza, and you want to avoid that, of course, so don't do it, please. Alright, next I take my 3 Grimace watercolor makeups, and yeah, I have obviously 3 different shades, and I start with the brightest one and work to the darkest one. I take some acrylic brushes for that, and yeah, build up kind of a bloody looking red base. And this base is not just one flat red tone, it has different shades, and that's why I'm taking 3 different shades. And yeah, just work yourself up to all the wounds and build those shades and create the illusion of depth with them, and of rotten and decay looking flesh, because a zombie is obviously dead and the blood is old, and so you have a messy and rotten base for that, which works the best. And here you can see it obviously comes to life slowly, and at the end I take a little bit of black watercolor makeup as well, at that right below the fake skin, and obviously create even more depth and even more the illusion of yeah, an open wound. Last but not least, the most fun part of this look, fake blood, and I take Grimace fake blood and B for that, and the bowl contains loose pigmented blue food coloring. I mixed those two together and have almost black coagulated looking blood, and this is a random sponge which I ripped off some pieces, and that makes, or that gets the sponge a little bit more texture obviously, and you don't have to buy an expensive makeup sponge at the carnival store. You can just do what I did and save a lot of money. And also I take a Q-tip, fill in those wounds with the coagulated looking blood, and add the wounds, the blood rather, all around the wounds randomly. And Tom had obviously a bloody meal for breakfast, so he gets his mouth covered in blood as well. So before I started applying the fake blood, I just painted Tom's hairline and the beard in with black mascara again, because I didn't want to have it gray like it was from the foundation. I want to have it more dark and rotten and dirty looking, so I painted it black. And yeah, you add the fake blood just very randomly as I do, wherever you want. You can do a way bigger mess. Just make sure you blend the edges of the blood with your fingertips, which makes a way more realistic appearance. And that's basically it. So I added more and more blood. I took a little bit of the pure basic blood, which is kind of a little bit more bright, and added it as well, and just, yeah, created this kind of huge messy blood base to the zombie look. and we don't want to waste any product, and we are done. Alright, here we are with the final look, and we did a huge zombie mess. Tom looks very dead now, but yeah, that was our purpose, and nothing more to say about this look. I hope you like this look, and if you like it, give me a thumb up, support me with that. Also subscribe my channel, it's for free. If you want to meet me otherwise, you can get on Facebook, which is my Facebook is facebook.com/anthonycookmua. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well. I will let you all the information in the comment section in the info box below. Get me feedback, get me comments as always. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I hope you liked this video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.